Alright, let's go swap those player positions around because we are in game number 2. Welcome back to the big one, guys. This is, of course, Group C we've kicked the day off with. Following the series will be Solar versus Hearthstone. We should get some pretty good stuff out of today. But for now, focusing on the game at hand, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. This time, we'll see if we can bring it back. The blue Zerg player, Liquid TLO.
Nepper writes as the purple Terran. It is Root Supernova.
So this is kind of awesome. When we first threw the tournament together, I think Supernova and Journey were two of the names that really stuck out to both of us. Not only because we're Terran lovers, but the fact that these guys were teamless. You know, Supernova's been since picked up by Root, and I think that's really cool. What I really hated, by the way, and I don't know if Katz is watching, or maybe someone will link the VOD to him. I got you back, man. I thought it was absolute horseshit, part of my French here, that there was so much negativity around Root picking him up. It blew my mind. I was so happy that Supernova found a team, but I was so absolutely saddened by the community's reaction to it.
Yeah, I don't know. My feelings on it, or is that, you know, obviously, and you just announced on Reddit, Supernova goes to a lot more foreign tournaments now, which is kind of like, I don't know, that's what they need. Like, Korea really doesn't have that many tournaments, and Supernova did not make it into Code S spoilers, so without that, like, what else does he have except laddering and streaming, which, you know, isn't that great.
Well, there's going to be that Korean Weekly starting up.
The
Lima League. That should be some pretty good stuff, actually. But, no, you're right. We're seeing the shift in the dynamic of the world, too. It used to be Korea was the hub of not just Starcraft 2, but esports. And it's becoming Europe that's more of that now. Of course, mixed with China in between, but we don't see as much out of China as we do out of Europe, just broadcasting-wise. I think Supernova's made a good choice with Root. I think he'll get some good results here. You know, it wasn't exactly like he was an all-star, but, you know, players like Sage and stuff, too. Yu-Gi-Oh! When they were on Root, they got some pretty good wins, but they never had those big dream hacks. Either way, I'm just glad he's got a team, because if you guys follow some of the players who have been teamless for a long time, I mean, I think it really starts to affect their mentality after a while. Arthur is a prime example of this. Love that guy to death, but if he's not the most depressed player in StarCraft 2, I don't know who is.
Well, Deer was kind of sad, right? Like, he changed his Twitter, too.
Oh, yeah, didn't he make it like, oh, what did he change this to? So it was Sad Arthur, we were talking about it, and then, like, I don't know, something Deer.
Poor Deer? Poor Deer?
Poor Deer, yeah, I think that's what it was. Anyways, Reaper coming out for Supernova, so once again, guys, we don't have anything too crazy happening in this game, but we do have TLO making a little bit of extra lings. Now, yesterday, we actually, was it Jadong versus Journey, we saw a bit of Zerg cheese on this map, and saw how it isn't the most effective and the most viable thing to do. So I'm really glad TLO decided to stick it to, I guess, the more normal side of things.
Well, he did get 8 lings. That's an awful lot. I mean, 4 if you just want to be defensive, 6 if you want to try and squeeze out those 2 lings. 8 is just a lot. Yeah.
Oh, because we're back to the Game Heart mod, guys. We can go over these graphs and stuff. We'll show you more of these later, but this is one thing I really want to bring up, and this is so cool. I've been studying a lot of the graph stuff with GameHeart since we started using it, and you'll notice, like, there's gonna be such big dips. Like, the Zerg's gonna have a higher consistent economy, but every time mules are in play, it's gonna become very obvious for a Terran player. As we can see, the mule recently died out, but a new one was dropped, so TLO takes the advantage once more. I love that these graphs track the last 10 minutes of the game too. So while we haven't really had any games in this tournament so far that have had a lot of trading, a lot of back and forth, and those tug-of-war scenarios, you can still see things like army sizes trading out, but you can see TLO's invested a lot more into his army supply than Supernova has. I really love that these graphs are getting utilized, and I hope, we're kind of beta testing these. You know, these aren't really built into GameHeart by default. I hope as these get refined, we're going to see more and more usage of it in tournaments, because I'm sure there's a couple of Dota fans out there who are like, hey, this looks really familiar, and I think it's incredibly helpful. Ooh, loses the Reaper. Oh, that's going to suck. Where's I going with that? Oh, I was just saying, like, for these graphs can be really helpful for the casual StarCraft 2 viewer. But yeah, losing that Reaper is kind of a big deal. He didn't quite get that secondary scout off where you go back in later to check the gas times, you check for lair. That's I mean, he's not going to see the third base coming down. That sucks a lot for Supernova, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he scouted gasless, and of course, one of the things you have to worry about with gas is like maybe like a transfer into 1-1 roach timing. But considering he got an emergency tank, like even before the Reaper died, he got this tank. I don't know what he was expecting, but he's gonna be okay against aggression.
You know, that's kind of Supernova's MO though, right? Like he does, I'm not gonna say like tanks in general, but whether it's this map, whether it's Deadwing, he's the one who's going to be looking to use them if and where you can. I mean, we kind of talked about too how there's a lot of open engagement areas, so you don't want to take an engagement head on. So, I mean, having one tank right now, okay, it's defensive, but, you know, imagine positioning it on this ledge over here while he assaults this third.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's going to pay off later.
That's true. And of course, we always talk about these new maps being more suited towards tank play. Supernova would be the guy. I mean, he was the guy actually that we saw the first one to use the unique build of tanks against the Protoss player. On
oh yeah, versus
Deadwing.
Protoss, yeah. Because I was gonna say Lily Canine abused the crap out of it on Deadwing as well, but that was versus Zerg, so not the same boat.
Anyways, I like Supernova's play. God, I keep doing it. I like Supernova's play, not only because of, like, you know, he's kind of weird and stylistic, and of course he's the only one that really goes mech against everyone, even Protoss, but also because he's not one of those Terrans that will just lose because something's silly. At least I don't think so. Whenever I watch 4GG or, who were we casting last night?
Oh, well, hang on,
Bomber.
Yeah, Bomber, but I just want to point out, we did go for that earlier numatized carapace. This isn't like the layer, or the hatchery one, but still a little bit earlier than you would expect, still foregoing the overseer. We're seeing this trend a lot more lately, and I love it a lot.
There was this drop going on.
Yeah, triple Widow Mines. Interesting.
Yeah.
Teal on run. Teal on run. Oh, I like the bait. That was actually really slick. Choosing to minimize.
There's another one. It's gonna get the queen. Well, it's gonna get the queen damaged. Just to kill the queen.
Yeah, but I like what TLO did there. Slick little move for those who didn't see. Like, yeah, he pulls the drones, but you also risk the Widow Mine going off on it. If the Terran player's not actually actively targeting it just goes for whatever's closest. So by baiting in a couple drones like that, you know, you take a guaranteed 3 losses, 2 losses, sure, but it's better than risking losing 9.
Yeah. We have Roach Burrow on the way, and this is interesting. I mean, sure, it's okay against mech, but Supernova is actually not meching 1-1 with the bio upgrades, combat shields, so that's going on. It's still certainly effective. They're going to be able to walk up the supply depot that is down and get into the mineral lines of both the main and the natural, and probably also the third. One missile turret, though, would just stop all of that,
yep,
and he does it.
This is kind of cool, though. We are seeing a big shift in this game. For the longest time, it was only Banelings, only Zerglings. You wouldn't place any other way because mutas were the way to go. And that's kind of what I would expect on this map, quite frankly, especially with the spawn locations. I mean, imagine going from here to here with mutas, guys. So easy, so quick. No problem. Get out alive after. But we're seeing a lot more Roaches, a lot more Hydras. He is going for the melee upgrade, so he's not looking to dedicate too heavily to this, but still interesting to see him go as far as to get those tunneling claws.
No, he is transitioning.
Sorry, I was going to say, he could snipe off that missile turret, but that's going to cost him if he does.
Yeah, no, I think it might be too obvious as well if he tries and just dives to the missile turret, so I don't know. He could. But he is transitioning into the Spire and Baneling Nest, something we're seeing a lot more lately. I mean, certainly, the 1-1 attack, I need to go back to the looker. Yeah, the 1-1 attack is popular, and it would usually lead into just more Roach and then eventually Hydralisk, but more and more we see this change back into the Spire. So the +1 melee is really the worst thing that you cut here. Like the Roaches will be able to hold on against most of the 12-minute pushes, so the Baneling Nest and the lack of Baneling speed actually is overcomeable. But your upgrades are going to be a lot more behind.
Okay, so triple drop's going to sort of, I guess, speed their way over here. The thing about this, guys, is by delaying this, you don't have links to react fast. You don't have banelings to easily clean this up. There's no mutas to chase those medevacs. They're on the way. The Roaches should be able to buy enough time, I imagine. I mean, this is not exactly the craziest pushing force. But TLO... Look at Burrow Micro. He's trying to keep the Roaches alive. That's what I like about this.
I was waiting for Supernova to actually micro those Marauders, and finally he did. I didn't even notice the last one was saved because of that. But yeah, focusing the Marauders was a really good move. They add so much damage to the Roaches. But this, he should actually send one of those medevacs back. I don't think he's scanned the Spire yet, though. He doesn't know it's a transition.
Well, the thing for TLO is, like, he staved off the drop. Okay, cool. A lot of this was going to hit at that time, though, before speed was done, before Banelings were out. Now he's got both of these. Baneling speed's on the way. 1-2 is going to be finishing here in a moment. I do find it a bit odd, though, because, I mean, he showed the Roach Tunneling Claws. For those who don't know, it's a very visible upgrade. We got Game Heart, and it highlights a lot, but the blue spikes on a Roach's back are very noticeable compared to the normal black carapace. So, TLO very obviously has Roach Tunneling Claws. And I hope Supernova... I wonder if there's, like... I almost wonder if this was a fake out by TLO to make it look like he was going Roach Hydra, just by investing in it that little extra more.
If that was the case, Supernova has not fallen for it.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
still producing Widow Mines. He
Well,
only produced that single tank.
I only bring it up because he is going really, really Marauder heavy. Normally it's like 1 or 2 Marauders at most. We're seeing upwards of 3 being produced at a time.
That's true. Well, he probably thinks that it's a Roach Baneling style, you know, like Hyun.
Ah, Roach Baneling is so scary.
But now he sees the mutas, so yeah. I was laughing because TLO actually got 2 Roach horns, and I wasn't sure if that was on purpose or not.
Oh, I never got that. Drop over here to the right side, coming down
Oh,
this
the focus fire could be huge.
Oh! One of my hits are okay.
Okay.
They could have been much better, of course, but still,
Yeah.
always that heart attack moment. A Roach unburrows in the middle of the fight because, you know, style. I really love this burrowed Zergling over here, by the way, guys. This is such a big deal. You could never float an Overlord out here at this stage of the game. It would just be sniped off. But this has been providing TLO a lot of extra vision. Going a little bit ham, perhaps getting a little bit greedy. Goes for the bunkers. He's starting to overwhelm, though. Those Roaches are adding a lot of DPS to the back end of this. And Supernova finds himself with absolutely nothing to deal with this. Just his production. The siege tank on the high ground.
Though.
Yeah, I was going to say this.
Tank.
We could have mocked this earlier, but it's what keeps him alive and keeps him in the game.
No, I love Supernova for this. So I was talking about, like, Bomber, 4GG, they'll cut, you know, like, the bunkers, they'll cut that emergency tank in the beginning because, you know, it's a cleaner game that way. You get more greed out of it. But Supernova, he gets the tank, he gets additional bunkers behind this, knowing that a counterattack, you know, because there's this timing, you know, every time you push out, it seems, actually using a lot of damage, that if you get overrun, simply because your production was just getting started on 3 bases, you actually lose the game. Oh,
okay,
good
Supernova
scan.
saw that. Yeah, it's kind of a heart attack moment where you don't know if the Tanner player's paying attention.
Oh, the mines are
your
being
mutas.
targeted by the mutas. Nice control by TLO.
Yeah, TLO's handled this really nicely. And the Mutaflock, by the way, guys, still sitting around 18, so not that bad. Couple of them getting a bit low.
Oh, he probably should not have taken this 4th, though.
Ooh,
yeah. Those 4ths.
I didn't even see that float over there. I don't think Supernova realized he floated over there either. The Marines are not going to clean up these mutas. Yeah, there's no way he saves this. Great pickup by TLO. He takes a 5th while this is going on, too.
Yeah, well, he was piling on so much aggression. I think Supernova could have definitely waited, you know, a minute or 2 more to get up to, like, the 170 count before trying to take that 4th after being pushed back so far. The 3-3 also, TLO on top of everything, just a very clean game. I mean, the 3-3's already started at 17 minutes. It's actually
really
rare
fast
for Zerg.
Yeah. So here's one of the cool points where I actually get to use the graphs, guys. Oh, never mind. I've pressed something that's disabled them, so never mind. WTF! Oh, I was going to go over the army.
Them.
I don't know. Apparently I have. I was going to go over the army values so you guys can see the dips after that engagement. I was specifically waiting for it, but I guess, you know, the beta version comes with a couple bugs. So we found one of them. Either way, TLO, I'd say, is in a pretty fantastic spot right now. Not because, I mean, you look at the army supply, yeah, okay, they're kind of even, but as Zombie point out, both players heading towards their 3-3. And usually a Zerg player in this composition isn't able to afford going for high this early at the game. Isn't able to consider ultras just yet, much less this 5th base. But TLO's been doing enough aggression. He's creeped up all the bases. He knows for a fact Supernova is on 3 bases at most right now. Well, I guess with the exception of a possible ninja base, but that's unlikely.
Yeah, unlikely. Supernova is also not, you know, he was at a time where, like, his production wasn't that big, and he can't afford a 4th command center again. It's good surround.
Well, I mean, he is going to beta fight off of creep, technically, but that Overlord creep is actually going to be just that little bit of a speed boost those Banelings really needed to connect to this army. Woodamite gets a decent hit off there. You see the entire army take a big dip in health, but Supernova, man, starting to bleed out really hardcore. Bring him back to the tank. Use the tank, Luke.
Even with the tank, I don't think he's going to win.
No, it's sad to say. The mutas might just be a little too overwhelming. The Banelings actually coming in hard. GG. TLO going to take game number 2.